Tapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Kasank Ma Kepa Ru with another video for you. In this video, I want to talk about how to manifest the money you need. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Also, we have free ebooks that will go more into the esoteric, more into my spiritual teachings. Just click on the links below and you can start them today. And if you're not already a Patreon supporter, please consider doing so or being one. You'll get exclusive access to videos, instructional videos, which teach about hypnosis, how to be more confident, how to lose weight, how to get rid of negative habits, also how to manifest a spirit, how to do a ritual, how to contact your ancestors and all that good stuff, how to work with the oracles. So all that material is good for you. And it's available as a Patreon supporter. As I said, you can become one for as little as $1 or $20 per month, cancel anytime. And your support would be greatly appreciated. So tapu and welcome. One interesting note, you notice that we don't say Hotep, we say Hetep or Hetepu, which kind of means something similar like peace or joy. You know, and we've always said Hetep, you know, we've never said Hotep. So, and it's a good way to distinguish myself from the Hotep community, which I don't subscribe to the things that they do or preach. So we kind of venture off onto our own stuff. So let's talk about this. Actually, before I talk about that, I want to just talk about a couple of things that are coming up. So this summer, I am putting together a retreat. So basically what that is you'll have an opportunity to come here and we are going to be doing some meditations. We're going to be doing Qigong. We're going to be doing rituals, and you get an opportunity to participate in that. And you get an opportunity to learn more about the Kemetic way of life, learn about shifting to parallel realities, learn more about manifesting your reality. And these retreats, or this retreat, I should say, it's coming up. We want to have them every year, but this retreat is coming up. It's really specifically geared toward empowering you, because there's a lot of times you'll go to a retreat or you'll go to, I mean, you have your Christian ministers, they have their retreats, you know, the church has their retreat, and then you have other religious sets like Wiccan or Yoruba, they have their retreats. But what I tend to focus on is giving you the tools to empower yourself so that you can go home and become a magi and be experienced, because you're not supposed to be an initiate or a student forever. You've got to master this stuff to make your life successful. So when you come, one of the things we're going to be doing is that we're going to be giving you tools. We're going to be instructing you on the right way to do certain things to produce the results that you're looking for in your life. It is not just you come there and we're going to do a meditation session and we meditate. No, we're going to get into the mechanics of things and show you why you may not be getting the results you're looking for. And you should be able to go home now and start to practice this and apply it correctly. You know, when I went to my first Japanese black magic retreat, this is some wild stuff. Let me tell you this. It was awesome. We would go to sleep early, get up like around 2:30 or 3 in the morning and do our rituals and do all kinds of stuff. And one of the instructors was teaching about alchemy and powders and, you know, what happens when you mix herbs and things like that. And he was demonstrating stuff, and he had mixed something and it exploded. I mean, it was a big explosion. It was really big. It was beautiful too. It was really nice. He was there. I mean, it wasn't harmful or anything like that. He didn't get hurt. But and then when it was done, we saw the smoke rise out, and it took shape of the spirit, right? And he said this remark, because we weren't really sure if that was all part of the plan or not, right? And after the explosion went off and the smoke was there, and then he was conjuring the spirit, he was like, okay, Now that I'm thoroughly terrified at what just happened, so when he said that, we knew, oh, that wasn't part of the plan. All right. So that was really cool. And, but the whole thing about that was, though, it still was done from the perspective of, we're just going to show you stuff, you duplicate it, but we're never going to give you the tools you need to empower yourself so you can go off and do it on your own. Most of the times they say they'll do that, but they don't really do it. So I want to keep that in mind, that you need to be with individuals who are going to help and assist you so you can take those steps to graduation, to fully develop into a divine being, the God man, God woman that you are meant to be, and not just to be an initiate for the rest of your, or an adept the rest of your life. You don't want to do that, because then you get into, um, I forgot what it's called, the guru syndrome or whatever, where you're worshiping your teacher, your guru, but yet you never get to that level for some strange reason. So you don't want to fall into that, because then you could be easily misled, and then your mind will take their level of proficiency and their position to a higher level than it really needs to be, and you'll start worshiping them as a god figure. And you don't want to do that, because you want to understand that they're just as human as you. They just have more knowledge than you, or more experience than you, but you could get there, and everybody's cut from the same cloth. So just keep that in mind. So when you come, we're going to have vegan meals. So if you're a meat eater, be prepared. You're only going to get vegan meals. All right, that's just how it is. And there's going to be, of course, the meditation, the invoking the spirits, doing rituals, and a large part of it will be geared toward manifesting different realities, all right, and seeing these results there for yourself. And we're going to be doing the experiments, or we're going to be doing it so you can see how this stuff works, and visually see it and experience it, one-to-one relationship. So, and also too, I do the weekend, kind of like a weekend boot camp. So if you're interested in coming here and working directly with me in a very close-knit setting, where maybe me and two other individuals, you're more than welcome to do that. There's a cost to that. So you just have to, if you're, let's say, for example, if you're in New York, LA, Kansas, wherever, you just have to pay for your ticket to get here. And then, then get you some lodging, but we help you with the lodging and everything like that. And then you'll spend basically a weekend with me, and I'll be teaching you different techniques, and which are basically, again, geared toward manifesting different realities and rituals and things like that. So that's a great way. It's not expensive, and it's also a great way to get a more close-knit, personal, one-to-one instruction from me, if you're interested in doing that. So it's only for the weekend. It's only for Saturday and Sunday, and then you can arrange it so that you can fly back out on Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, something to that nature. All right. And we do give you the schedule, so you'll know like exactly what to expect and how to book your trip. So just email me if that's something that you're interested in looking into. All right. Now, with all of that taken care of, we need to get down to business. And what I want to do is I want to talk about manifesting the money that you need. Now, I want you to pay close attention to how I worded that, because wording and language are patterns, they're spells, and they're important for you to understand. I didn't say manifest money. All right. I said the money that you need, because there is a big difference. All right. Many times we get caught into a situation where we may need to manifest a large sum of money. Or there could be situations where we want to start a business. Okay. And we just don't have enough on our own to invest in the business, so we need a lump sum of money. We may need, like, for example, 25, 30,000 to invest in the business. And this is something that you're passionate about. You really want this business, you want to get it going, so you need to raise that capital. And of course, you've got to have money to pay the attorneys and their accountant. The first business I started, I didn't know it was so involved. I had to form a corporation, I had to get an accountant, I had to get the attorney, and then along with that, to incorporate, which is some paperwork, and then filing out your quarterly taxes was this thing I was new to, you know. So it's a lot of work involved. And me coming from a film background, I've essentially always had to raise a certain amount of money to finance my films. Because most of the times, there have been exceptions, I've self-financed my films, meaning I've taken the money that I've personally had, whether it be whatever, to finance the film. The last film I did, the film prior to that was the most expensive film, which was $100,000. I took my money out, my own savings, and and made that movie, which is called War is a Bitch. And I was only able to do that because I'm a magician. I was able to manifest the money, you know. But again, going back to the statement that I emphasized, that it's not the money. You're just not manifesting money. You're manifesting money that you need. There's a big difference. All right. This is what makes the magic works. This is what activates the magic, because there is a burning desire, a need, a genuine need to have the money. You understand? And that need can be misplaced. The need could be, for example, you want to buy your fiance or your girl a ring so you can marry her, but she's not a good woman. But you don't care. You don't see those red flags that she's not a good person. But you got to get that $15,000 to buy her a ring because she only wants the best. So that burning desire, that need to get that $15,000 for this woman who's not a good woman, that can activate the magic in it of itself. You see, the magic's not looking about necessarily the morality of it. It's not saying, well, we're not going to, I'm speaking third person, we're not going to manifest, because she's a not good woman for you, so we're not going to manifest. No, the magic will manifest the money, even though you may not be using it for the right reasons. You know what I mean? See, that's the thing. There's no real like dark magic, light magic, good magic, bad magic. It's really just one source. And that's where even George Lucas admitted this in his Star Wars trilogy or Star Wars films. He said that there really is no light and no dark side. It's just one energy, one source. And what it does is when it goes through like a prism. So that light goes here and it comes out through various spectrums. And those spectrums can then are frequencies that you then use for different purposes. But it's really one source. But we mislabel it and define it as black magic, good magic, light magic. And the Christians are the biggest culprits of this. They go around and they tend to think that, you know, non-Western religions are the devil because they are of darkness. Well, who gave you that concept of darkness? Where does that come from? Because you have to understand that everything is of God. Everything is God. And you cannot have the light without the darkness. You understand? How could you know the light without the darkness? So there's a problem there. And then the Christian religion is laden with subliminal mind control iconography. You look at the devil, he's black. The original devil, if you look, the depictions of the devil are black. So what's that about? And the angels are white. Angelic angels in heaven, clouds, all that white. Devil, hell, the in the earth, depicted as black, dark. So what that was doing was that was the ruling elite, call them whatever you want. That was their way of using the religion to program the minds of the population of the planet to hate people of color, to eliminate and enslave people of color. And what better way to do that through what we call as the religious fetishes, religious iconography. When you implant that into the religion, it becomes a powerful tool because you're activating magic. When you look at that iconography, this is why our ancestors in ancient Egypt used the metu neta, the hieroglyphics, because they knew when you read the hieroglyphics, it would activate certain psychic centers in the right hemisphere of the brain. So Christians knew that if you're looking at those depictions of the angels, the demons, the devils, and you saw this light or white versus black, which is really what it was, you knew that you had to follow their religion because you wanted to win the battle against Satan. You wanted to win the battle against dark-skinned people. You understand what I'm saying? And this is where the Lord of the Rings, that whole series comes from, is the battle against darkness. Or you have to understand that our ancestors embrace complementary elements because we were integrated brain thinkers. You see, we never looked at darkness as opposition to light. We looked at it as a complement to light. We never looked at women as an opposition to the male principle. We always looked at it as a complement. This is why in the ancient statues in Egypt, you always see the man standing there with the woman. And you have your nincompoops in the Hotep community that's stupid as all hell, who come and say, see, we worship the woman. You see, the woman was equal to the man because he stood by her. That is a lie. All right, let's get that straight. Because the man was standing next to the woman, that doesn't mean that the woman was equal to the man, and nor does that mean the man was equal to the woman. We didn't. That's not correct. And let's understand that, right? If you are doing wrong as a person, and I am living truth, I am not equal to you. Don't get it twisted. We're not the same. So what we understand is we didn't subscribe to equality per se. We subscribe to cosmology, because cosmology gives a value and a position to everything, and everything must play its role out, must stay within its assigned role. So when you saw us together, what you saw was the union of the yin and the yang. You understand? The light and the dark, that they were forming a whole. But understand, each one has its purpose in life that it must fulfill. The yang energy must be offensive. The yin energy must be defensive. If they switch positions and roles, there is imbalance, disorder, and things collapse. The structure cannot function. That's what cosmology is about, making sure that everything has a position, everything has a role to fill, and everything is fulfilling that role. And that supports the whole. And that's how you gain protection from God. When you fulfill your role in life, you gain protection from the whole, because the whole needs you to function as a whole. When you venture outside of that, your role, and you start to do something else, if I start to go in to Africa and I start hanging from the trees and acting like a monkey eating bananas, that's not my role. Monkeys be looking at me going, what the hell's wrong with him? You understand? I have to fulfill my role in this lifetime, or else I'm out of balance. And what's going to happen is that the system has it's self-correcting. It's going to push back against me and try to bring back balance. You understand? So that is what it's all about. We're never, and so, you see these statues and you start talking about equality, and sometimes they go even further and say we worship women, and I'm like, no, that's none of that. You're operating from a Western male chauvinistic perspective, because you're thinking that ancient civilizations had that problem. They never had that problem. They understood from the get-go everybody's role. You understand? And you had to play out that role. The community would self-monitor itself and make sure that you fulfilled your role. This is why you would have in certain nation states, you would have men that would go through the initiation process, because they knew that we had to prepare you for leadership. We have to prepare you for kingship. We have to prepare you to be a general. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, I don't think I want to do that. I want to, just hang back and maybe knit. No, you're not going to do that, because we need all the strong men that we can to defend the nation. Okay. But society's twisted anyway. It's kind of messed up. So you're dealing with individuals who've been raised in a single parent household, and all they have seen is the matriarch, the mother figure. So they don't know any better. So they elevate the female principle to too high a level, and it steps out of its bounds. So just keep that straight. Now, when you do look at ancient Egypt, you will note that the determination of whether you could be king or not came through the female line. It was matrilineal. So women had a very, very strong position and had a lot of political say, starting from the priesthood to politics to, it's really hard to say all of that, because here we go. See, we're dealing with this Western language. When I start saying things like, well, they had a very strong influence on the priesthood, on politics, Kemet, it didn't have these lines of demarcation. Like, you really wouldn't say religion, because the more correct term would be spirituality, because there was nothing to get indoctrinated in. From the time you were born, you were taught about the universe. You were taught about yourself. And it was this spirituality, let's call it religion, that did not conflict with science. They were one and the same. So if we can magically transport through time travel an ancient Egyptian to present day, and you would ask them, tell us about your religion, they would be perplexed. What do you mean, our religion? I can tell you about our way of life. And if you would say, well, tell us about astronomy, they were like, huh? I can't tell you about astronomy, but I can tell you about my connection to the universe. They don't have those definite, defined lines of demarcation for disciplines. Like, for example, ask them, tell us about the art that you guys practice. Did you paint? Did you play instruments? They would be like, huh? Well, we did have musical celebrations that were part of the spirituality that were used to bring you into a state of trance and to make you divine. If that's what you're talking about, you see, they did not have those lines. So the whole idea of you going to a university and studying different subjects, it is so backwards. And it definitely shows how we, as a planet, our progress has been retarded. How we, of a planet, are not at the right space-time continuum. We should be more advanced than what we are now. But darkness has encased the planet. And what I mean by darkness, I mean by the ruling elite. So you have to understand there's a connection that everything had. And even the way they talked was different. A lot of we, our, I, you know, that's why you may hear me say my person feels this way. I'm not going to say I feel this way, because who I am is consciousness, and consciousness doesn't have an emotion like that. Consciousness doesn't like or dislike. Consciousness just is. I am that I am. That's it. I am. No more assigning a quality to it. But what are you? I am. Yeah, but you are what? I am all things. I am. I exist. Therefore, I am. What's that line that says, I think, therefore I am? No, it's backwards. I am, therefore I think. All right, so let's get into this. All right. What we want to talk about, sorry, I think I took a detour there. I started getting into ancient culture and how we thought, how we taught, and how we worked together, So let's kick it here. Now, as I was saying before about hold on a second. It's a white man world in the eyes of the elite. There's so many problems with that statement, Bob. I can't even begin to tell you. There's so many problems with that statement. But one thing, that's a violation of Tahuti. You don't assign a quality to something. You don't say it, because Tahuti tells us nothing has a quality in and of itself. It's your perspective and value that paints it and colors it. So you saying white man's world, that's a violation of the state of your being. That's a violation of who you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it also shows how you have limited your power as a god. This world is your world. You created this world. You created it. All right. You made an agreement to create it. And you also made an agreement to put in place the ruling elite. And their role is to teach you how to become God. So stop that garbage talk about this is their world. No, you are responsible. And as a God, you take accountability for the world you created. Stop placing the blame on somebody else. That's what regular people do. We as magicians take accountability for the world we created. We don't say, woe was me. We don't say, why do I have bad luck? We don't say, why is the world against me? Why is my ship not coming in? No, we don't say that freaking nonsense. We say, why did I manifest this? What belief system do I have that has caused me to manifest this? Why am I here? Why did I create the ruling elite to do the injustices that they're doing? Because I created them that they can show me that I am God. So get rid of that thinking. We're adults here. We're gods here. We're not children. We don't walk around powerless. We're here to learn how to use our power. And in learning how to use your power, you must first admit that you're already using your power because you've manifested the world around you. All of this is because of you. It's not because of any outside God. There's no outside entity out there. Even modern science has proven this. There's nothing outside. It's a holographic experience. It's a hologram that you are projecting based on your own belief systems. That's what's there. It's coming out of your mind. If the world is warped, you are warped. If the world is uncontrolled by a ruling elite, well, sorry to tell you, you need to start asking yourself, why are you here? And the majority of us are here because we agreed to be here at this particular time in history to make a difference. And in making this difference, that information about how we're going to create the revolution and make the change to shift the vibration of the planet is going to be uploaded into the Akashic records. And it's going to be stored there until another group and maybe a parallel reality is facing another threat like the ruling elite, and you need to know how to overcome it. They go to access the Akashic records where you have uploaded the information on how to defeat them. So that information is stored there so others can access it. So you are helping the whole. Do you understand? You are helping the whole. The purpose of you here is to experience. God needs you for that reason, to experience, so that that information again gets uploaded and can be used by others. Because information is never destroyed or discarded. It's stored in the Akashic records for use. All right, so I digressed on that one too. All right, so let's go back to the idea of manifesting money that you need. Now, a lot of individuals, they come to me and they say, well, if you're a good magician, can you manifest money at will? And I say, yes and no. And they say, no, what do you mean? Yes and no. There's only one answer. There's only one answer. No, because you come from Western society that is caught in polarized thinking. You think there's only one answer to life. See, our ancestors embrace the idea that life is dual. Ma'ati, M-A-A-T-I, Ma'ati, the two truths. So understand that. And what I mean by that is, under the right conditions, you can manifest, but there are times when it's just not the right conditions for you to manifest, and you won't manifest. Do you understand? And then there's situations where you may be able to manifest money, but not a lot of money. You may be able to manifest $50, $100 here or there, but you have trouble manifesting $5,000, $10,000. That's very common. That happens. So the answer is yes and no, depending on the cycle, depending upon my health. If I fasted, if I've saved up my chi energy, you know what I mean? It all depends. I remember there was this movie, I forgot the name of the movie. It's a pretty good movie too, with Wesley Snipes, and he was fighting Ving Rhames, and Ving Rhames was the reigning champion, and then Wesley Snipes was a champion in prison, and Ving Rhames actually got locked up, and they wanted to set up a fight between Ving Rhames and Wesley Snipes. So they asked Wesley, they said, "You undefeated, but he's undefeated on the outside. Who do you think will win?" And Wesley Snipes says, "It depends on the day." He says, "One day, if I'm in the flow, I could win. Another day, he could win. It depends." There's no absolute answer to that. You understand what I'm saying? And you've seen fights many times. The champ will lose and come back and win because it's all in the mind. If his mind is straight, if he has a reason to win, if he has a thirst and a drive to win, he will win. But if his mind is not there, he will lose. If you perform a ritual and you're not sincere and your mind is not straight, whatever the ritual you're doing will not manifest anything. But when you approach the ritual from the right frame of mind, and I call it being in a certain psychic state, it'll manifest. You could be walking down the street and suddenly just get into the right psychic state and manifest something. And it was nothing you did on purpose. That happens a lot. So one of the things we try to do is to map that out into a process so we clearly understand what the mechanics of it is, so we can duplicate that process. This is why science has a hard problem with the occult, because a lot of the things aren't duplicatable, because you're dealing with human nature here, human emotions. There's an ebb and a flow. It changes. So it's hard to just duplicate it at will. But the one thing we do know is that it works. So if you're a filmmaker, for example, and you need $100,000 to make your film, I used to coach people who were filmmakers and show them how to get money. And the first thing I would ask them is, how badly do you want to make this film? That is the prerequisite. If you don't have a burning desire to tell that story, to see that story on screen, then you won't manifest the money. But if you are sincere, and what I mean by sincere, not meaning have good intent. You can be sincere and not have a good intent. What I mean by is if it's what you really want in life, if it's something you have a burning desire to have, then we can begin. Then we can begin the magical work, because you've already fulfilled one prerequisite. Oh, by the way, Bob, I wasn't chastising you per se. Don't take it personally. I wasn't chastising you. I was more chastising the Hotep community, because they are very big on assigning labels and qualities to things. And I don't want, I don't want us to fall victim to that type of mentality of starting to blame people. You understand what I mean? And I don't want us to get caught up in color. But or at the same token, here's how you have to hold in your mindset the two opposing views. Though we don't blame individuals or people, we do know, and we must hold accountable for those white people who have gone along with slavery and have enslaved our ancestors, and they must be brought to justice. But we are not going out there and generalizing. So I just want you to understand that. So anyway, I don't understand what you mean, but it would be nothing without a woman or a girl. Mina, can you just elaborate on that? I'm not really understanding what you mean by that. Were you talking to somebody else, or are you making a statement? Can you just let me know? Okay, so when you have that burning desire, like to make the film, to make that movie, then you fulfill one requirement of your magic, and that is, it's a need. Now, if you are a member of Patreon, I've gone on and put up a lot of videos there about manifesting. I even have a program called How to Manifest $1 Million. And don't get caught up on the title of actually $1 million. That's just meaning it's a analogy for going for high stakes, to really wanting to make a major change in your life. But the idea is that, all right, the techniques are really permission slips. You could work the techniques and not manifest the money. You could not work the techniques and manifest the money. That's the thing about magic, all right? And goes back to what I said, your psychic state, your state of mind. Because like the light that goes through the prism, there are different frequencies. And if you tap into that money frequency, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you're going to manifest the money. And that money frequency doesn't necessarily mean being, some gurus will say, well, go where there's like money and be around the money, or go around rich people and be around rich people, and you pick up that energy and you'll be able to manifest. That's a possibility. That happens, but that's not a requirement. The psychic state is a state where the right brain becomes dominant and you enter the subconscious mind so deeply that you tap into the energy of that money and you manifest, or you tap into that reality where the money is and you manifest it. That's the psychic state I'm talking about. It's hard to put that into words, but that's what I'm saying. But it first has to go by the need. Now, the next thing is I'm giving you just some principles here that'll help you to manifest it. And I'm not giving you the mechanics, because you can go on my previous videos. I do have previous videos here on YouTube that you can get into that give you the process, step A, step B, step C, or you can get my book, The New Capital Ankh, my ebook, download it. It's there in the links that spells the process out. But the process right now is not important. It's abiding by these couple of principles I'm going to give you that's more important. The process will help to speed it up, to streamline it. The next thing is to have freedom from outcome. And what does that mean? That when you have the genuine need, I want to make a movie, I want to be a director, I want to manifest $100,000 to make my first feature film. When you have that need, that's the first step. The next step is going back to the theme of what I said before. And this is the brilliance of our ancestors and how they lived. You must embrace duality. This is called freedom from outcome. You must want that money with a passion and have that need, but not care if you get it or not. That in-between state is the frequency to manifest it. And that's hard to get into. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say, oh, I have the magic mantra that'll get you in that frequency. If anybody could figure that out, it would have been bottled and I've been selling it. Do you understand? That is not an easy thing. And I think it differs from person to person. All right. Let me go back to Mina here. Okay. All right. I'm just going over some of the comments here. Oh, hey, that's cool. Who's speaking Kemetic? That's cool. All right. Tapu, how you doing? That's a nice picture. So first step is a genuine need, strong desire. Next thing is freedom from outcome, embracing duality. You want it with a burning passion, but you're also okay not having it. Okay. And the next thing, which I think is the third thing, which is really, really important, not necessary. Remember, there's no hard, fast rules to magic. You need to set the goal, the date, when you want it, because that's going to expedite the process and going to put fire under your butt. And give yourself a realistic amount of time. Magic manifests in its own time. You can't predict when it will happen, and be okay with it not happening when you want it, where you want it, and how you want it. Okay. I totally goofed something up on a big time level, and I'll explain it to you. I goofed something up on a big time level. So I wanted to direct a film, a Hollywood film, right? And that's all I thought about was directing a Hollywood film. So I'm going to do this magic for a year, and I actually set that goal. I'm going to do this magic for a year, where I am going to see myself directing a Hollywood film. So for a year straight, I was very dedicated to doing it. Well, at the end of the year, I never got to direct a Hollywood film. But here's what happened. Suddenly, I shifted to this parallel world where all my friends knew famous actors. And I was perplexed by that. How all of a sudden they only know like, oh, so and so knows Denzel Washington, so and so knows this person, so and so knows Ron Howard, so and so, and they would invite me to go and hang with them at these Hollywood events and talk with them. And I was very reluctant. I don't know, I wasn't a socializer. I would go every now and then. I would meet the people and leave it as is, not following up now. All right. So I got a couple of calls from Universal Studios, Paramount Pictures, oh, Disney, Walt Disney. We want to talk to you about making a film. And I was like, about time. So I flew out there. I did my pitch for them. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I can do this. Can we get Will Smith for this film? And they all loved it. And they all passed. I don't know how. They all passed. All right. So here I am sitting in a hotel in California, upset. This, I'm not going to mention his name, head of a studio comes over, takes me to dinner, and we're eating Thai food. And then we leave, and he jumps into his car, and my friend was driving, and I jump in his car, and the head of the studio stops before getting into his car, and he turns around at me, looks at me, and he goes, Kassan, don't give up. He says, don't give up. Keep going. I gave up. I was like, I'm done with this because disappointment is hard. So anyway, went back to the hotel, got a call, incredible story, from the top agent in Hollywood. Not an agent, the top agent. Come to my office, I want to talk to you. I go to the office, I pitch some ideas. He doesn't like the ideas. And he says, listen, I want you to write for Frasier. I want you to write for Third Rock from the Sun. I'm going to get you on the writing staff, and I want you to write for television, and then we'll work you into feature films. But start with television because that's going to pay you a lot of money and get your name on the shows. So he hooked me up with a personal assistant. She sent me a bunch of scripts so I can understand the themes and how to write for them. I started writing out scripts, and at that time I went to New York and I stayed in a parent's apartment, and I started writing. I was so unhappy because all I could think of was, I'm writing television. I hate television. I hate writing for comedies on TV. I cannot stand it. All I could think about was feature films. So I just blew off the whole thing. I was like, I'm not writing these scripts. I'm not calling him back. I'm not going to call him back. I'm done with this. And it's a decision that I look back on and said, you don't understand how the magic manifests. It may not manifest the way you want, but it manifests in the way you need it. Had I kept doing that, had I kept pursuing that, who knows what I would have done and what I would have accomplished, you know? But my mind was only fixated on having my magic work one way. And I was very myopic in my viewpoint, you know? So where am I, look at, oh, so now I'm making commercials, and I don't really like commercials, but I'm making commercials. So I should have just stood with writing the sitcoms. That would have been better for me and paid a lot more money. You know what I mean? So that's just a little tale to you to understand that if the magic is not going to manifest in the way you want, don't worry about it. Follow it. Follow it. Keep going. Follow the breadcrumbs. It's going to lead you to where you need to be. What's the Christian say? God works in mysterious ways. You're God. So you work in mysterious ways. You know what's best for you. And meanwhile, here's the kicker. I'm inside the Hollywood elite, inside the inner circle, and I'm meeting all these people, and I'm not happy because it's really sad because you're meeting all these stars. And I had people coming up to me because they heard about my script. I won awards, and they were congratulating me, and I was just like, whatever, 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 And I'm up there standing. I remember one time, these guys came up to me and they were congratulating me, and I'm looking at them. I said, why do people look familiar? I'm like, oh, wow, that's the cast of the Freddy Krueger movie. I was like, oh, hey, how's it going, guys? Never at any one time did I stop and say, let me get their numbers. Let me form a connection with them. I went out and then I had dinner with Spike Lee. Me and Spike Lee just sitting at a table. We're having toast, and I'm not talking, and Spike wasn't talking. So I'm just like, whatever, man, whatever, you know. And instead of like pitching my project to him, I think I was just disappointed in just how I had done. So I finished dinner, and I went to a good actor friend of mine who was infuriated and mad that I'm sorry, it wasn't dinner, it was lunch. I just had lunch with Spike Lee and I didn't say a word. I really didn't say much. So he says, "What's wrong with you?" So he pulls me over and he introduces me to Spike's wife, who was standing outside the restaurant. So her and I talked for a while, and I gave her a tape of my movie. I didn't give her a tape of my movie. My friend made me give her a tape of my movie because I wasn't going to take it any further. And then since then, I've ran into Spike a number of times, and we've hung out, we've talked, no biggie. But that's just to show you how, if you're so set in life on having something and it doesn't come in the way you want, you must trust that it will eventually unfold for you, even though you may not see the direct signs. And if you don't pay attention, you're going to blow it. You're going to blow it. I was walking down the street. Let me tell you how powerful my magic is. I was walking down the street talking with, at the time, this was back in 1998, the top Hollywood producer in Hollywood. Just me and him walking down the street. I'm talking to him about films and talking to him about the direction I want to go. Never followed up with him. Never asked for a deal. We're just having a conversation because I had felt so defeated at that time, you know? So three techniques. Number one, you must have a genuine desire and a need for it. Number two, you must have freedom from outcome. You've got to want it with a burning desire, but also not care if you don't get it. And three, you need to set that goal. I can't set the goal for you. You've got to set the time for yourself. You know, and make it within reason, but don't make it unreasonable. Don't say, I'm going to get $100,000 by next week. A little bit unreasonable. You got to have a lot of power for that. All right. So you have to set that. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I see something. Okay. Oh, guys, having a great conversation. Okay. I love the conversation. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. So set a reasonable goal. Like I said, I set a year. You can set 6 months. Look at your resources and think, what's in my immediate resources? Because the magic is going to work through what's available. If you're really powerful, here's a kicker. Let me explain this, guys, because I'm going to leave you guys with this. And this is going to help you to understand how the metaphysical world works and how there are parallel realities. Okay. There's two ways the magic will work. If you're not a very powerful magician, it's going to work through the resources you have available. Okay. It'll work through an aunt, an uncle, a friend who's a lawyer, your boss. It'll work through those avenues of opportunities. However, if you are a powerful magician, say you're on Aleister Crowley level, you will immediately shift to a parallel world where you automatically get the thing that you want through a very extraordinary circumstance. And you'll say, there was no freaking way in the normal way that could have happened or should have happened. I must be in a parallel world. And that has happened to me a number of times. It happened to me one time where when I realized what had happened, I couldn't breathe. I almost had a panic attack, realizing like, oh my God, this just couldn't just happen. Where am I at? This is not reality. How did this happen? And when that happens, I mean, you've invoked some very powerful magic. And that's really the level you want to get to, because there are certain things you're going to need and you want to manifest. And that in the close proximity of your resources, the magic can't work because it's not there. You're going to need to shift to a parallel world to get it. That's why you need to have that power. How do you get that power? Baby steps, through belief. Belief. Do you understand? Asked my teacher, is magic real? And he says, it's all BS. I said, BS? He said, yeah, belief system. If you believe, you can manifest it. What is your belief system? Examine what you believe. This is why we don't need to rely on what they call is a permission slip. What is a permission slip? Permission slip is my magic wand here. I've been charging this wand for years. It's very powerful. Like when I pick it up, it hurts my hand sometimes because the energy is so powerful. But I use this in every ritual I'm doing, right? Do I need this? It's a permission slip. I don't need this. I can do the magic without it. But maybe my belief has not gotten to the point where I believe in myself strongly enough and believe in my power strongly enough to manifest what I need. So I may need a tool, some help. So I'll get this magic wand to help me. You understand? Wow, that thing disappeared. Holy crap. Where did that thing go? What in the... That is freaky, man. Holy smokes. Oh, I got it. I was like, where did it disappear? I was like, where did it go? You may need a crystal. You don't really need a crystal, but you may need it. It helps your belief system because you place your belief in the crystal, you allow the magic to activate, but you don't really need it. But for some initiates started out, it's helpful. It gets you to where you need to go, you know? So it's all BS. Belief system. The way I describe reality, right? Here's my reality. Here's my thing about reality. I love to describe it this way. Reality is all Maya. It's an illusion, right? I don't call it that. I say it's one big con job. And I sincerely mean that. I'm like, when I do magic and I see it manifest, I always say, man, this whole experience is one big con job. Because understand this clearly. No one's going to tell you this. Not even when I was in priesthood for 12 years, did they even tell me this. I had to learn this on my own. Everything in your reality, your job, your wife, your car, your cute doggy, German Shepherd, I like Huskies. Husky, your goldfish, the bodega grocery store, the Mexican taco place that you love to go to, all of that is created by you to have your experience. You do not live in the same reality as your friends and your mother, your grandmother, your father, your son, your daughter. You do not live in the same reality. Don't be fooled. The realities, they merge when you come in contact with your grandmother. Then you manifest that reality. But it doesn't exist. Apart from the observer, reality doesn't exist. Reality exists because of the observer. You are the observer. You are the uchat, the all-seeing eye that the Egyptians have as a hieroglyphic. Without you, there is no reality. Do you understand? Reality does not exist apart from the observer. There's no objective reality. Let me say it again. There is no objective reality. You live in a very subjective experience. So if reality does not exist apart from the observer, the experience we're having is coming from what then? Magi's, the experience we're having in this fourth dimensional plane, this 4D plane, is coming from what? Magi's, put it in the chat box. You know the answer. Reality doesn't exist apart from the observer. Can you help me? Kunli, can you help me? Where is he at? He's here. Say it, Kunli. I am. Okay. I am. So I, which is the real essence of who you are, if reality doesn't exist apart from the observer, where does the reality come from that you're experiencing? Where does the where does the subjective reality come from that you are experiencing? The best. You're close. You're very close. You're warm. Okay? You're warm. You're warm. I am that I am. Where is that reality coming from? Come on, guys. We just talked about this. You got to know the answer to this. It is so simple. I really gave you the answer in like number of times. If I am the observer and I create the subjective experience that I'm having, where does the subjective experience come from? What is creating this subjective experience? It is simple. Yeah, you're hot. You're hot. You're hot. Put it this way. You're not warm, you're hot. There we go. There we go. Your belief system. Your belief system. When you manifest something in your life that you don't like, a divine being, a God man or God woman, takes accountability for that and says, what belief system have I adapted to cause me to manifest this reality? When my mate gets out of pocket, I don't say, my girl is acting crazy. No, because she does not exist. She is an avatar. I must then ask, what changed in my belief system to manifest the actions in her? See, it's a different ball game then. Things change when you start taking accountability for the reality. You understand? Now, let us not get it twisted. Let's go back to Ma'ati, M-A-A-T-I, dual belief systems. Our ancient Kemetic ancestors believed in the yin and the yang living together in harmony. We embraced opposites. Although you do create the fourth dimensional experience, you do not create everything within it, because there are certain things that are hardcore built in place that cannot change. Okay? They may be gravity, they may be the sky, they may be the earth. And those things come from the collective agreement that we as souls make before incarnating into this fourth dimensional reality. We agree, all right, okay, all you souls get together. I just talked to my man Tahuti, and he says we got to incarnate onto this crazy place called Earth. Now, it's really fucked up. We're going to get our asses kicked, but let's agree on some ground rules here. All right, so all you souls get back. Yo, Jamar, get over here, man. Why you leave that girl alone, man? Come on. All right, so we're all here. We're gonna agree that there's gravity, right? We all agree there's gravity. Cool. We agree there's a sky and it's gonna be blue. We agree. All right, cool. We all agree there's the earth, and the earth is gonna look like a dragon. No? All right, okay. So the earth is gonna be made from these things that's called dirt. You agree? Okay, we all agree. Cool. Let's incarnate. Let's do it. All right, team. Yeah, and you incarnate. Okay, that's how it works. All right, those are the collective agreements you make. Now, everything else, you have a say in manipulating and manifesting. I can manifest a new girlfriend. I can manifest some money. Okay, I can manifest a better job. I can manifest health. But I can't suddenly change and say, I don't like the moon. I want it to be made of green cheese. I'm going to manifest a moon out of green cheese. No, because Jamar agreed that the moon will be made out of a physical material, you know, so we can't have it now out of green cheese. We all agreed that it was going to be made of a physical material. Okay. And we all agreed that our bodies would be made out of skin and we would have hair. We all agreed to those things to have this experience. You can't change yourself to suddenly look like, I don't know, some tall Nordic alien. You can't do that. We made an agreement. You have to to abide by that agreement. Now, when you pass on and you go to the ether or the inner planes, you get an opportunity when you confront Tahuti, and you will confront Tahuti. I guarantee it. He's going to be there, and he's going to be reviewing your life with you to make sure you held your bargain, and you get an opportunity to come together with your souls, your friends, your family, and make another agreement. And also, I left a little bit of part out of that, but you don't really need to know it. You can make an agreement. All right, Lisa, you look fine. All right, you super fine. I want you to be my girlfriend in this next life. Is that cool? All right. Wendy, you're gonna be my mother. All right. Yo, Doug, you're an asshole, but you're gonna be my father. You gonna be my father? All right, you're gonna be my father. Okay. You're gonna be like abusing me and stuff, right? And I'm gonna be hating you and all that, but I'm gonna grow spiritually from that. So I want you to beat the crap out of me. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Lisa, you're gonna be the girl I'm gonna cheat on. You're gonna have a baby. I'm gonna let me see. I need to learn how to be a father. So I am not going to take care of that baby, and I want you to take me to court, and I want you to cause hell in my life so I can learn the Osir principle of being a father. And the baby's going to be Haru, and you'll be a set. We'll play out that road. Cool? All right, cool. That's how we're going to do it. Now you're going to be the guy that's going to, let me see, you're going to start a fight with me in a bar, and you're going to beat the heck out of me. I'm going to be in the hospital, but in the hospital, I'm going to realize that I'm on the wrong path. So beat me up bad so I can come to that realization. Cool? All right, thanks, man. So that's how it works. You assign all these people roles in your life so you can grow spiritually. All right? Let's go back to that scenario. All right. You group of people over there, get over here. All right. Yeah, come over here. We're all about to incarnate. So you group of guys, I like you. I want you to be in my reality. So let me see. I want you to form a secret society called the Illuminati. And we're going to this really crazy ass planet called Earth. I want you to control this planet. I want you to take it over and cause havoc, cause destruction. But I also want you to do that so I can understand how powerful I am. Because without you, I will never come into a realization of my divinity. So can you guys do that for me? Can you be like the absolute rulers of that 4D Earth reality so I can know who I am as God? Cool. You're going to do that? All right. You guys are cool. All right. So you hang right here. And all right, Tahuti. All right. These guys going to be this, that. Okay. I got all my posse here. Let's reincarnate. Let's do this. Okay. And then Tahuti sends you back. And that's how it works. All right. All right. So that's I just gave you a play there. Let's put that into a movie. All right. All right. So I'm worn out now. Okay. So let's see what we got going on here. All right. So that is it. That's it. Now you can go off and use that formula given you to manifest the money that you need, to manifest anything else that you need, because the power is within you. And remember, you don't need a permission slip. You understand? But if you want a permission slip, there's nothing wrong with going out there and getting yourself a magic wand. You know, they can be expensive, or get yourself some crystals or do a ritual. You know what I mean? But when you get to a certain level of understanding, for me, it was, I need to understand why magic works. And a lot of people in the occult community don't really spend the time to spell it out. Like, how does this really work? They just tell you to do the spell, do the incantation, do the ritual, and it'll manifest. But I'm very scientific. I'm very left brain. I got to know the details. Tell me how it works. And I think that has helped me build my belief to where I don't need the permission slips. You understand? And when you don't need the permission slips, you become powerful. You become really powerful. Because I'm going to tell you, beloved, you're going to get yourself into situations where you just, oh crap, I don't have my herbs. I don't have my magic wand. I don't have the crystal. How do I get out of this situation? I need my magic. No, you don't need those things. It's within you. You understand? The magic is within you. I don't need these. This is a Hedaru Ma'at beads. I don't need these beads, even though I've charged these beads for years, probably around 10 years I've charged these beads. They were made for me by a priestess, and she charges before she gave it to me. But I don't need this. I can manifest things in life without this, And my Heteru one keeps breaking because Heteru's not happy with me. No, it doesn't break. It just comes unscrewed. I have to screw it back in. Get it? Heteru, screw it back in. Do you guys get that? If you understand Heteru, you'll get that pun. Okay. So, okay, let me see what's going on. In closing, I want to say if you really want to get onto the spiritual path, okay, if you want to really become empowered, look at getting your Kemetic name. All right. I've just put up my new website, and you can go to yourkemeticname.com and sign up to get your Kemetic name. Let me just share a screenshot of that so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. And that's the website there, your Kemetic name. And what's funny here is if you go down, you read about the kings and the queens of ancient Kemet and what their names meant and why getting a Kemetic name is very important to you. Now, what's really great about this website is that not only do I discuss that, but I really get into, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, there's some funny videos here that really get into names. So I want to play this one here because I found that these guys, what is it called, Keenan and Peele, they are funny as all heck. But let's hear the names that they have for these basketball players. This is really cool. Check this out. Let's meet the players from the East. Oh, my internet's slow. Hold on one second.
DeMarcus Williams, University of Georgia. T.J. Jackson, Wayne State University. Tavarius Smith-King, Merrimack College. Kyle Royal, Smoochie Wallace, University of Miami. Desquarius Green Jr., University of Notre Dame. Ibrahim Moises, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Jack Marius Tack-Theratrix, Michigan State University. The Isaiah T. Billings Clyde, Coastal Carolina University. The Jasper Probencrux III, South Carolina State University. Leoz Maxwell Jr., East Carolina University. Javarison Lamar, University of Middle Tennessee. Devoyne Showerhandle, University of Southern Mississippi. Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State University. LeCarpetron Duke Marion, Florida Atlantic University. Dinklage Morgan, University of South Florida. Xmas Jackson Flaxen Waxen, California University of Pennsylvania.
Please, 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 please do not name your children crazy names. Your name is your destiny. Your name is your power. Your name is your mantra. Okay. So go to the website, sign up for your Kemetic name, and it's based on your destiny. So we do a destiny reading for you with the Oracle. We determine your destiny, and that in turn will contribute to your name. Your name also can relate to your clan. I'm in Ma'at clan. That means the clan is basically your tendencies, your innate tendencies. Okay, and Ma'at is truth. Ma'at is expansive. Ma'at is balanced. Ma'at is reciprocity. So I hang with people in the Ma'at clan, and you may be Hurukahuti or Sebek or Nubis or Heteru, Isis. So Aphrodite, Athena, you could be in different clans. But anyway, going back to your destiny determines your name. Your name is your mantra. You recite your name. And in ancient Kemet, sometimes they would not let their names be known because you have power. If you were a magician, you could have power over a person by knowing their name. And there are certain ancient cultures that have mythological tales that talk about if you can find God's name, you can have God's power. But you already have God's power. And you know what God's name is, right? We all know what God's name is. Please tell me you know what God's name is. Please tell me. Please tell me you know what God's name is. In the chat room, could I hear it? Could I hear it? Because you guys are gonna get me upset if you don't know God's name. A number of you have already said it. Come on, put in the chat room. What's his name? What's her name? Anybody venture to take a guess? It's kind of like a trick question anyway. Come on, somebody. What's God's name? Somebody tell me in the chat. Somebody. You guys said it before. You guys have said it before. You guys know it. Yeah. Hold on a second. Here he goes. Nectar, but it's spelled with one T. That's not his name, but that's the Kemetic name for God. But what is God? Somebody said it before. There we go. That's it. All right, that is it. I am. It's a trick question. It's actually a trick question. I am. I am that I am. No name. No name. I am. All right. See, he told you. You guys are. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Um, love talking to you guys. Keep up your studies. Work hard. And remember, it's all a con job. It's all Maya. This is the song Maya Keperu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. My aunt is a beautiful goddess Heteru. Till my next video, I'm in Ra.